Today.
Hey guys, we're talking about delivery formats in this video. So we're going to go just very quickly through a bunch of different ways you could present the information, ebook, video course, etc. We're just going to generally describe them quickly here. But what's important here is not that you didn't understand what an ebook is and we told you what it is. We want to open your mind to what formats you could have, because what you have in your mind right now, I want you to be open-minded to changing how we deliver the course. Maybe you're thinking ebook now, and maybe we can talk you into a video course or an audio course, etc.
Yeah. So first one is a video course. One of the best mediums for one of the best platforms for learning, for teaching is video, because of the you're engaging the audio and the visual, you're engaging all of that. And so the more senses you can get involved, the only way to make it better is have some kind of hands-on for them, which we'll also get into. So video is a fantastic format for teaching. It's also probably the hardest of all of these to produce. It's very, very hard to edit after the fact. You can edit a video, but once it's out there,
hard to change.
Coming back and changing it, you kind of have to start over. So anyway, we'll talk more about video later, but video is a fantastic way to start teaching.
The other thing I like about video is you can sell it for more than some of these other things. So the next one is an ebook. Ebooks are great because they're pretty simple to produce. When you need to make updates to it, unlike video, it's very easy to just type in a different word here or there. And it's also something that you can do kind of in your free time, whatever, just have a minute here, a minute there, rather than sitting down and making a video course. The problem with ebooks is the ceiling of price. It's really hard to sell an ebook past $30, $40 because book sells for $15, $20 on Amazon. We know what a book costs. And so it's hard to really get up there in the price point. We're kind of anchored in what people are used to.
Exactly. Now that leads us kind of to the next level, which is the audiobook. We have found that audiobooks, that you'll make more money selling audiobooks than you will selling ebooks or physical books. And so if you are going to make a book, having it available in an audio format is a must as far as I'm concerned. But an audiobook is definitely it's a scripted read book. It's not the same thing as an audio guide, which is another totally viable option for format that you can teach in.
Next is software. Software is wonderful because software has a way of fixing a problem instead of just teaching you how to solve your own problem. And so people are usually willing to pay more for it. Software is also moving a lot into a membership model instead of pay once and get it forever kind of model. But it's obviously harder to produce. Some of you may have those skills and that's great. Others of you who your business is further along the line need to be open to it. We spent a long time before we got into the software game because it's gnarly trying to get into it and hire developers. And we've stubbed our toes a few times, but also it can be really lucrative because there's not as much competition because it's harder to produce.
The next one is files, and that's where I talked about if there's something that can be a little bit more hands-on. Wow, that's a great method for teaching. It's also a way to solve people's problems for them. Sometimes that file is in the way of an online tool. Maybe it's like a spreadsheet that does a bunch of calculations for somebody, like a weight loss spreadsheet and tracking and for planning their food.
You're
and all that
finishing
kind of
your
stuff.
Basement. Here's your cost calculator.
Yep, those kinds of tools work really well, but also printables, something that I print out and can, like the worksheet that we gave you for this course, gives again your customer a way to engage more. Sometimes it's printables that if you're in the teaching space, you give the printable to a teacher or a parent for them to use for the kids. Those just can be a fantastic way, again, or a fantastic type of product to be able to hand out.
We've talked about audiobooks and audio guides. There's also a podcast, which is a third audio format, just giving them premium access to a one that takes a username and password to listen to the podcast each week. Now, we say, ooh, I don't want to do it each week, and maybe you don't. Maybe it is great for a product that you can keep them going if it's a membership kind of model. But also, you could record a season of a podcast that is evergreen, and they just go and listen to it, and it's there and done. So it could be a delivery method as well.
Exactly. And then the next one is membership sites. Now, membership sites are just awesome for online business. You can generate recurring income from them, but they are also a lot of work. You need to be prepared to keep your content up to date, constantly refreshed, constantly adding to it. Otherwise, people are just gonna up and leave. They're gonna pay for a month or a year or whatever, and they'll up and leave. Membership sites are a little bit beyond the scope of this course, realistically. Most of you watching this course really shouldn't be going that direction today, but I want you to keep that in mind as a delivery method, as a business model, because it is a tremendous opportunity and one that you may want to come back and revisit.
Yeah, so we love membership sites. If you have a bigger online business, you probably should be moving that way.
Sure.
But it is a very different beast, and so we're not going to talk about it as much. Okay, some services. These are things where you're actually performing work for the person. So you could do something with design. You know, there was a photography company that made just cool logos of the person's signature for them to put on the photos. Great idea of a design service. Skype consulting. You know, this is where somebody can send you a survey and you can record in 15 minutes or over Skype talking to them live, answering their questions and working with them over Skype. You can do email reviews. We're doing the same thing where they just send you a survey or tell you about their problem and you can send them an email response, or an MP3 consulting where they send you their questions and you just record a 15-minute thing and just send it to them. There's so much you can do.
Any type of traditional service. If you're a lawyer that does legal consults, or you're a photographer that's willing to do portfolio reviews, or any sort of traditional service that you might be able to do in person, find a way to deliver that online. Now, these kind of services may feel like that's not passive, but realistically, like, you get to still earn that income. People will still be able to buy the product while you're asleep, while you're on vacation, and then you design the product to be able to be flexible and work around your schedule. I have found that you can charge more for a Skype consult than usually like an MP3 consult, because there's that back and forth. However, it's in my opinion substantially less convenient.
Way harder.
It's and you have to get people's schedules to fit yours, and where we're dealing with global audiences in many cases, it can be very difficult to manage. And that's why it's really nice when you can do these more asynchronous type or recorded or email type reviews and consults. You may be able to charge less for each one, but you can accomplish far more of them with far greater flexibility. So that's something to keep in mind if you're considering going down the services path.
Now, in this course, we really want to focus on bundling. What we have found that sells really well is a bundle. It's incredible. The only thing better than secret sauce is a bundle of secret sauce. It's been a huge change for us. When we would send cold traffic, 20,000 page views to a sales page for an ebook, but we just make a simple Excel document that helps them with this calculator, and we make a 2-hour audio guide to teach them some of these principles there and put that in a bundle. I mean, it can sell 4 times more. It's incredible. In the photography business, this was absolute game changing when I started doing bundles. I mean, they would sell at an amazing rate. People like getting a little package that's just like, yes, this is going to solve every aspect of my problem. And then you can increase your price substantially as well. Because like we said, an ebook's $15. That's what we're used to. But if it's an ebook and a calculator and an audio guide, that could be $100. Yeah. It's just incredible how it changes people's perceptions.
It does. It just changes the total framing of what the product is. Nobody expects to spend that much money on a book, an ebook, but people do expect to spend that kind of money on tools and other things that you can provide with that. And so what I want you to do is, again, pull out that worksheet. We've listed out each of these potential options. I want you to go through each one, and on the line next to it, just write out how you could use it, whether or not you think it's a good idea, but how could you use it in the course that you are intending to make, and then go through it again and just put a check mark in the box next to each of the ones that you actually think would be a good fit. But I really do want you to fill them all out, because I want you to start opening your mind to the possibilities. Now, in the next few lessons, we're going to go through some of them, the most common ones, in more detail, so that you can learn how to do a better job of each of those things. And
they're the ones that we kind of think most of you should be focusing on for these products. Video, audiobooks and audio guides, ebooks, files, etc. Those are ones that they're pretty simple to do in a 10-day product. Like you mentioned earlier, a membership site is usually a lot more than what you could put together in 10 days if you want to keep those customers happy month to month. And so keep it in your mind, say, yes, I'm going there, but we're starting with this. And then this isn't a throwaway, this is eventually going to go in the membership.
It's a piece.